Hello and welcome to the brand new reimagined version of Versus on Forza Horizon 2. Today, what we're going to be doing is putting two amazing hypercars against each other. I'm going to tell you what I think is the best overall, and I want you guys to do the same in the comments once you finish watching this video. Now, if you want to see other cars in the future on this show, please let me know down in the comments as well, and be sure to like it if you want to see more. Without further ado, let's get on with it. McLaren P1 or Ferrari LaFerrari? Which is the best? We're about to find out. You join me in the LaFerrari, guys. We're going to see how quickly this thing is going to get down the runway. Are you ready? Because I know I am. Come on, LaFerrari! That was a pretty epic launch, especially for a rear-wheel drive car. It's probably the back end of this thing. Absolutely monstrous when it all starts moving around with the air. That's one thing I love about the LaFerrari, though much prefer the front of the car. Not gonna lie, that's probably my favorite part of the car. But let's see how we get in the top speed test. Can we get a 203? Yes, we can. Stop before we hit the wall. Stop, stop, stop. It is now the turn of the McLaren P1. Much smoother off the line, though the launch does seem a little bit slower. I may be completely wrong, we'll see in the comparison test after this. But here we go, McLaren P1. Show us what you are capable of when we throw you down this road. Come on. It's a shame we can't control the DRS and curse ourselves, but already eaten alive. The LaFerrari's speed. And we actually managed to stop and not crash and die. Bugger off, Porsche! Back into the future tense, the P1 actually has a grippier launch, but the LaFerrari seems to take off a little bit more until later on when the P1 once again gains ahead and literally eats the thing alive, getting a much better top speed. I say much better, but overall, it's not that big of a difference, but as you keep gaining and gaining, you can see the P1 definitely eats the thing for dinner. But, as you can see, a ridiculously close finish for both cars. So I have now driven this car for a couple of minutes just to see what I think of the car's handling and how it drives, and I've got to say, this feels very solid. It feels in place, you can tell where it's going. Even though it is a rear-wheel drive car, it feels as if it's got the stability of all-wheel drive at the back end, and especially when you're going in a straight line, this thing feels solid. Once you actually start to turn, the front does sway a little bit. That has its advantages because you can get this thing to slide out, for example, like this. Look at that, absolutely monstrous. But it is a nice car to handle even when it does that, so it does not cause an issue. I'd say this is one of my favourite cars on Forza Horizon 2 overall so far, because it's just so well put together and so well balanced. It slides when you want it to, and it accelerates when you want it to. It goes very fast. I like the P1. And now it's time for me to have a little play with the LaFerrari. So I have driven it around for the past couple of minutes, and I think this thing handles just as great as the P1. But the only issue I have is the fact that when you launch this thing, it loses traction a little bit more because of how the spoiler is designed. It's not really a normal style spoiler. It's kind of works in where the faster you go, then it goes up, and the P1's always got the spoiler there in some way, and the LaFerrari doesn't. And you can tell that it is not there. But once you get into about 30-40 miles an hour, you will see that the spoiler does come up, and it does give you the stability that pretty much matches what the P1 provides, and it's not as big and in the way as it is in the P1. So it does have that. But do I like the LaFerrari to drive, just sliding around? Definitely I do as well. It does seem to have a better turning circle than the P1 once we get to the higher speeds, which is probably once again to do with how that wing is designed. But without further ado, I think it is time to tell you my winner. God damn it, I can't drive for shit. So which of these two amazing hypercars takes it home for this episode of Versus? Is the McLaren P1. And my reasoning behind it being the McLaren P1 and not the LaFerrari this episode is because Number one, it has a big, massive wing that helps with its launch, whereas the LaFerrari's wing doesn't help with the launch in any way at all. And then later on, the McLaren P1's wing allows it, even still it's got a massive gaping wing, to get a top speed higher than that of the LaFerrari. It also seems to handle better at top speeds when going and swerving. You can regain control of the P1 much better, and just overall, I think it can be more fun to drive and also be more stable and much more safe, I guess. But that doesn't mean I dislike the LaFerrari, because I like it probably just as much, but I wouldn't drive it if I had an option between the two. Anyway, hopefully you did enjoy this episode of Versus. If you do like this series, remember to give me a like, and if you want to see any other cars in this series, let me know down in the comments, and let me know which is your winner of these two cars. Until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.